What's up, fellow go-givers? JuJuan Buford here, broadcasting from Detroit, Michigan. And yes, you're going to have to deal with the sore voice today. So what I'm going to talk about this morning is something that's been egging me for the last 2 weeks. And I literally just couldn't sleep through the night thinking about this particular issue or challenge, right? So gentleman called me up and asked me, or basically told me he's considering going full-time as an entrepreneur and quitting his job. And look, I believe entrepreneurship is empowerment. I believe, yeah, I still got the morning stuff going on. Anyway, I believe entrepreneurship is empowerment. I would like to see everybody do that, right? I would like to see everybody build a business. Part-time, spare time, full-time, doesn't matter. Because it's tough to make smart decisions in terms of your family when your stomach's touching your back, because you don't know whether or not a job is going to be there. And look, AI is getting ready. It's going to be major upheavals. People who thought they were safe aren't safe. I thought a long time ago, 20 years ago, I saw the writing on the wall and I said to myself, if you still believe in job security today, you might as well believe in the tooth fairy. But, people are having their come to Jesus moments financially now. It is what it is, right? And of course, I want to see communities build ecosystems, right? Because if you employ the block, your family, friends, and neighbors, you get to control a great deal of what transpires on that block. You can have some say-so on whether or not the grass gets cut, whether or not the trash gets picked up, whether or not it's a rec center, whether or not there's a school at the end of the block. You have some say-so in terms of what transpires, whether it's a gas station or a school or a liquor store or a rec center, right? So I want to see more people do that. So I was excited to hear it, but I'll tell you, and let me preface what I'm getting ready to share as well. Look, I'm not the oracle. I can't predict the future. You can, any fool can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you can never, it takes, a special mystic ability, right? A special connection to be able to count the number of apples in a seed, right? I'm not that guy, and I know better, right? Also, I'm loath. I do not like to shit in people's cornflakes. So the idea of telling this guy he shouldn't do full-time entrepreneurship was not something that sat well with me, but that is indeed why I advised him. I said, do not quit your job and do not choose full-time entrepreneurship. And why did I encourage him? Matter of fact, tell him not to quit his job. Because here's the thing, I'm not going to let somebody be a crash dummy on my watch. If you come to me for advice and guidance, number one, I'm going to tell you what I know. Not because I read it in a book, because I've read it in a book, yes, but I've also applied it. And I've worked with enough entrepreneurs and seen things work over the course of 15 to 20 years of commiserating with entrepreneurs. So you're not getting some type of theory or ideal. I don't deal in theories and ideals, particularly when someone's talking about walking away from a job that they're using to pay their bills and take care of their family, whether they hate it or if they're check to check. Okay, I get it. But the bottom line is not everybody's cut out for full-time entrepreneurship. And most people, and a lot of people aren't even cut out for part-time entrepreneurship. And I'm going to tell you why. There's one mitigating factor where I can tell with almost certainty whether or not a person is just not going to reach their potential as an entrepreneur. And it doesn't matter what your skill stacks are or skill deficits are. It doesn't matter what your experience stacks are or experience deficits are. It doesn't matter what your knowledge stack or knowledge deficits are or the zip code that you hail from. It doesn't matter, because I've seen people win having all kinds of deficits, had no business being victorious, right? On the other hand, I've seen people who've had all the advantages in the world fall flat. I mean, face plant, right? And 9 times out of 10, I tell you, the question I ask individuals when they say they want to become an entrepreneur is I'm going to ask them, why? What are you looking to accomplish? And if the response that I hear is not clear, if the promise you're getting ready to make to yourself, your family, friends, anyone who's relying upon you, your future clients, your future vendors, your future employees, if the response is not clear, if the promise that you're going to make to yourself and other people is not clear, more than likely you're not going to be willing to pay the price. That's just the reality of the matter. You're not going to be willing to pay the price. The biggest difference between entrepreneurs who win and those who don't is the promise is clear. And because the promise is clear, they're willing to pay the ultimate price to be successful, right? The attitude is I will until, right? But you can only adopt that attitude if you're willing to pay it. You know, when some of the typical responses that I hear, and I heard it from him in particular, when I asked him why, was I want to earn some extra money. I'm like, for what? He says, I don't know, just have extra. I was like, okay, that ain't getting it. Okay, money is a tool. It's not the goal. The reason why people want money is because the ones who are sane and right in the spirit and head, they understand they need money in order to accomplish certain things, to do certain things, right? It's an answer to some things. So I began to ask him, okay, you don't know exactly how much, but what are you trying to change in your life? Well, I just want to have more. I want to be able to invest, and I want to be able to do this, and I want to be able to, you know, just have nicer things and take a vacation or so. And I said, okay. So I said, tell me what these things are. And he couldn't tell me. I said, tell me how much extra money you would need in your household in order to not be check to check, right? Because you're going to do entrepreneurship. Number one, you need to earn at least 130% of what you need not to be check to check, straight up, maybe even 140%, okay? And you're still going to be on your knuckles. But how much do you need not to be check to check? He couldn't tell me. I said, okay. I said, when you say invest, what do you want to invest in? Couldn't tell me. Maybe real estate, maybe this, maybe that, maybe this. Oh, okay. When I asked him, if you had extra money, how would your life change? I don't know. I'd just be less stressed out, right? And I was like, bro, this ain't going to get it. This ain't going to cut it. And he said, help me understand. And I said, look, a person is ready when they know the dollar amount, right? I knew I was ready for entrepreneurship a long time ago because my goal, straight up out the gate, I thought about a specific number, $8,333.33. That's what I thought about, right? And then I multiplied that times 1.30. But I knew after tax and after expenses and everything else, I knew I wanted to hit that 100K mark. Not so much because I necessarily needed 100K, but it represented a milestone. And yes, 100K would have been a lot better than what I was doing when I started my entrepreneur journey and on the pitfalls and downs along the way, right? For me, it was very important to hit that figure because for me, it meant, number one, that if I'm able to earn 100K, I just knew from talking to other entrepreneurs, going from 100K to 250 is a lot easier than going from 30 to 100, okay? And so I knew that was a very important milestone. I know once you get to 250, it's a lot easier to bridge that gap to 1 million, right? So I knew the habits I would have to have. I knew the knowledge stacks. I knew the experience I would need to have. I knew how effective. It meant something in terms of being effective, but it also meant it would be reliable, that I could do things for my children. When I say do things for my children, there are specific schools I want my children to attend. There's a specific condo that I've been eyeballing recently that I want to live in. I can see the floor plan clear as day. I can see the paneling. I can see the refrigerator. I can see the breakfast nook. I see where the bedrooms are at. I see the painting on the wall. I see the wood floor, right, and the coloring of it, right, and the veneer. I can see myself waking up in the morning with my computer, with my laptop, and, you know, busting out some work for the kids and everybody wakes up. I mean, I can see myself in this residence clear as day, right? And I tried to explain that to him. I tried to explain to him that I can see the type of I can see the type of clothing and the type of academic experiences that I want my children to experience. I can see the people I want to introduce them to. Like, I have names of people that I want to introduce my children to because I want them to see people who look like them winning in life and in business and otherwise, right? I know the people I want to meet for myself, but I know the people I want my children to meet because of the example and what they mean and what they symbolize, right? I can see these things. I told him how I can see my acceptance speech. There's a certain milestone I want to hit in one of my businesses, and I already know my acceptance speech. I won't be wearing these glasses. It's going to be a different pair of glasses. I purposely grew out my hair because when I give the acceptance speech, I didn't want to be bald. I wanted to have my hair looking a certain type of way, and I'm getting close to it. I can see the type of suit I'm going to wear. I can see the tie I'm going to wear. I can see the shirt I'm going to wear. I know what shoes I'm going to wear. I don't even wear watches, but I know the specific watch I'm going to have on my wrist. I typically don't wear jewelry. I don't wear things that, make me look like lunch to other people. People walk around 3, 5, 10, $20,000 watches, and I be looking at them like you're literally wearing somebody's house note and rent for the year on your wrist, and you out here acting like, okay. Anyway, maybe I'm just old school. I was always taught that, old money is silent. New money needs to be loud and auspicious, and that's why new money gets caught up. Anyway, I can see these things, right? I know what vacations I want to take. I've already gone online and looked at bookings, and I know what the rooms look like and where they're located at and what type of Airbnbs I want to take advantage of overseas. I've already done research on the home that I want to buy in Ghana. I've already done research on a home I want to buy in Tanzania. I've already done research and already begun to have conversations with certain people who are already conducting commerce internationally. Sat down with one of them yesterday, intentionally sat down with him to have a conversation because he's from the continent about the different strategies and practices he's adopted in order to conduct business as an international citizen, right? And I shared all these things with him. I shared pictures with him, and I talked to him in fine detail about the type of life I wanted to live, the type of friends I wanted to have around me, how I wanted to move in the community, right? And if you can't tell, I've thought all these things out. Like, I can see it. The vision is clear as day. I don't wake up anymore out of fear or anxiety. What keeps me awake at night is the things I want to do because they are so sharp in my mind, right? And if you talk to any entrepreneur who's willing to admit it, worth their salt. I don't believe in luck. I believe in preparation and opportunity. But every entrepreneur will tell you that oftentimes, look, just being willing to stay in the game long enough, to go hard enough, to go far enough, right? A lot of times it's a battle of attrition, right? You just look up and your competition is no longer there. Or you look up and all of a sudden, maybe you were a little bit ahead of your time and conditions had to catch up to you, right? Because we're entrepreneurs. Part of the reason why we get compensated the money we're compensated is because we tend to see things first before everyone else, right? And we typically come up with solutions a lot of times before anyone else has, right? Before things are like readily apparent. Anyway, I digress, but you get the point, right? And that's what I share with them. I said, look, man, until you get these things clear as day, you're not going to have the emotional, psychological, and mental energy to work when you're fatigued and tired, right? You're not going to have the motivation. You're not going to have the extra, I don't even know what to describe it, man, the energy, the current that runs through you, right? I mean, I started this talk at 5:55. So I'm running up on past the 10-minute mark, which I typically try to keep these about 10 minutes, but you get the point, right? There was a current running through me all during my sleep. And when I woke up earlier than I intended to, I just could not get it out of I couldn't get it out of me. I couldn't sit on it. I had to let it out, right? And that's how entrepreneurs feel about their deal. The people who win, even if it's part-time, even if it's spare time, let's say you're doing your business 5-10 hours a week. You got to have that current running through you for that 5-10 hours. Because I'll take someone that's on 10 about their business 5-10 hours a week. I'll bet on them before I bet on someone working a job, straight up, right? Assuming they have a good product and good value prop and they're really out here bringing value to the marketplace. But that goes without saying. But I'll bet on that person all day long, right? So, that's what I share with them. And, I hope this lands with you. If you're looking to level up, if you're looking to start a business full-time, part-time, spare time, especially if you're looking at considering walking away from a job, you need to take these. I strongly encourage you to take these words to heart because, look, man, you're not entitled to success. You're not entitled to wake up and walk across the street tomorrow. It's a blessing if you're able to do that, right? A lot of people are not going to wake up this morning. A lot of people are not going to wake up and go to bed tonight. They're not going to make it back home, right? And those of us who are entrepreneurs, especially when you're getting out the mud initially, you feel that, that reality acutely. And so you got to once again have a current running through you that will allow you to not let the environment and the people and the misbehavior and the BS.com impose its will on you. You have to have a current where you begin to impose your will on the things around you. So with that being said, I celebrate success in advance. Of course, hit the like button, hit the share button, let the algorithm know if you found this content beneficial or helpful. Goodbye for now.